clearly you've been called here.
Yep.
So what's your vision for the Bishop Walker School?
You know, the calling is a funny thing. I had planned on being either in California or being in West Africa before this opportunity came up. And I'm here now. I know that this is the right place. Things have been happening such that all of the pieces have been falling into place. Personal pieces, professional pieces. So I know that this is it. And my vision, number one, is to help us make that pivot from an adolescent school to an established institution. We are primed for that. We are primed for that with our staff. We have a great staff that's ready to pivot. Our business matters are ready to pivot. And I now, in this point in my career, have the skills to help us pivot and to lead the pivot. So that's really my vision. The second thing is, and I've been thinking about this a lot, I want us to be the place in the country, or maybe internationally, where people come to learn about educating Black and brown boys and being their village. I think that is essential. And I also want to make sure that we are helping parents and families and students understand their trajectory. It's sort of backwards planning. That's one of my approaches when I am working with a family. Who is your child? Where do we think they're going to go? Talking to the child, what interests you now? Knowing that life can be circuitous, the path is not straight, but really having an idea that we want our students and our children to be good citizens, starting from there and working backwards. And what does that look like on the elementary level? And that's why I've taught every grade from pre-K to college, because I want to understand what the trajectory is. And then I've also worked with adults. So from 4 years old to adults, I can backwards plan and help people chart a path to being good village members, good citizens, good human beings, really at the bottom line, being good human beings. So I would say that those are the foundations of my visions. BWS being a teaching institute for teachers and assistant teachers, and creating maybe alternative pathways to teaching, because we know we need more teachers of color and more male teachers of color. So I have a lot of ideas. And I say this to say I'm going to be here for a long time because I want to help facilitate a lot of these ideas. So I would say that's my, sort of foundation for my vision.
So you have a long vision for BWS.
I do.
Yes. So what are you looking forward to most?
Seeing the boys. Primarily seeing kids in the hallways. That brings me so much joy. When I visited in April, there was a young man, I don't remember his name, but he was in the first grade, and he gave me such a warm welcome. I was observing classes and I was trying to be inconspicuous. So I went in and sat in the back. But kids know when you're there. And he came I was sitting next to his cubby, and he had to get something out of his cubby. So he came over and he sort of was fumbling in his cubby, and I think he was working up the nerve to ask me who I was. And he said, "Are you our new head of school?" And I said, "Yes, I'm your new head of school." And he gave me a hug, and he went and sat back down. I want that every day, right? And I'm also looking forward to just meeting everybody in the village, the teachers, the parents, our community partners. And then lastly, I would say I'm looking forward to implementing some of the ideas of our community, strengthening our partnerships, and starting our in-person community events again more regularly. Now that we're post-COVID, and we know that for our mental health and wellness, it's important for us to gather as a community. And culturally, that's what we do, where we get our joy is when we gather as a community. I'm looking forward to implementing those. So I'm excited to have the opportunity to meet everybody.